Satan had outwit us at every turn. And from the very start, he had, when there was only 4 people on earth, he had a brother kill his brother. That took out, right there, 25% of his enemy. This is the kind of stuff that he's capable of doing. And then from that time on, he has been using the same exact formula, always pinning 25% against 25% until 25% is killed. But now you combine the 25% on this side and the 25% on that side, and 50% go to Satan. That's what he's been busy doing. Always fighting over meaningless stuff. What were they fighting about? Humanity. Water rights? Move. There was a million ways to resolve this issue without having to resort to killing each other. Satan had us always focusing on the wrong question this whole time. We always ask, who is our enemy? And that is the wrong question to be asking ourselves. The only question that matters is, who is humanity's enemy? And then when you ask yourself that question right there, then you realize that humanity's enemy is Satan. He is not a human. So now you begin to understand why we have been killing each other and why we have been in misery throughout the ages. And Satan had controlled every aspect of it, and always improvising on his system, because that entire time he had all of humanity focusing on who was their enemy individually instead of as a whole. Who is my enemy as a human? As a question, it never came up. And that was his doing. And this is the only question that we should be asking ourselves right now. Not who is my enemy, but who is humanity's enemy. And then when the answer also becomes obvious, the one who left heaven to come and torture you at every step of the way, Satan himself, he did not take a vacation. He had been winning the battle this whole time, because he is the master of confusion. He confuses us at every turn, from every angle. He comes to us from in front of us, from behind us, from our right, from our left, from our top, from our bottom. And for those of us who, let's say, he cannot get to, then he controls a bigger circle around them. So even though they individually are protected from Satan, but because they are divided, then he could put you with your protection under a big net of no protection. These are methods that he perfected over thousands and thousands of years. They are very complicated. But once you start to understand and ask yourself, who is humanity's enemy, then you understand why all these things are happening. Humanity's enemy has been winning this whole time. We did not even know we were fighting. Imagine such an advantage. He has a lot of knowledge. He lived in the company of God with the angels for thousands and thousands of years. And then he came and immediately took us out of heaven, started killing us 50%, 50%, every time 50%, for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Do you understand? And there's no way you could please him or negotiate with him. As we said before, it's not like we could set up a sting operation and send, them people with the black suits and the big guns and, hey Satan, put your hands up. Okay, stop doing bad. This is not the kind of stuff that would work right here. Just ask yourself this question and answer it honestly. Who is humanity's enemy? Who? Unless humanity right now is so perfect, you love it so much because maybe you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you love, but you could have all that in the future once we are under our own system, God's system. A system that would outwit Satan by using his system to get out of his system. And then prosper, because for the first time this explosive message need to be given to everybody. Who is humanity's enemy? Answer that question honestly and come to the awakening, because it's either we win this or the time is coming to where he's gonna play his ultimate game. Let us not be tricked by Satan for the billionth time, please. This is like ridiculous. Still, can we win one fight for our survival, let alone, this is not 50%. He's trying to take everybody out. Guy's crazy. Satan. We need to do something. So, the only thing that we can do is by getting out of the system that he has designed without upsetting it. Because again, this is a battle of wits. We have to win this fight with our wits. Because he took us out of heaven with our wits. He killed our first two brothers or fathers or whatever they were with his wits. And then from that time on, he's been pinning tribes after tribes and nations against nations, always trying to maintain a 50% and doing all that stuff. This is like, you can't even describe this evil, but this is Satan. This is your enemy. Once you start asking yourself the right question, then you just have to ask the only relevant question. How do we get out of this? The only way to get out of it is to use it to get out of it. So that's how we do it. This is some serious stuff though. I don't want you to laugh, and this is some serious stuff. The potential that humanity has and would have had, imagine if from very beginning Adam came down, okay, we made a mistake. Okay, we made a mistake. We came down. And he started to work with his son and teach him about, hey Satan, let's do this system and they started building a system. Let's just say that Satan did not interfere in any way. Where do you think humanity would be right now? Rocket ships? Much more than that, because of the accumulate, if you know anything about the compound interest and all that, how it compounds. So the good deeds compound until we're you cannot even measure it, where humanity would be right now if it wasn't for our enemy Satan. So we outwit him this time, and then we could achieve that. with the technology that we have today, if humanity was to use all that technology for mankind instead of for evil kind, then we would be like the best thing ever. I don't know how to describe it to you. Good, really, really good for you and for me and for everybody. Really good. Unless you like being a slave to Satan, because this is what is happening. And not only are we slaves to Satan, we still have to pay rent. You understand what's happening. Let's do this. I mean, why not? This is like the only time we're gonna get this chance. Because this is probably the first time we were been asking this question as a whole. Who is humanity's enemy? It should be very clear, but I know that spread the message. Let's talk about this. Who is humanity's enemy? And it's made out of 5 letters. And if you answer that question, I can't give you anything because I don't have any money. But still, who is humanity's enemy?